The first time it happened, Sarah thought she'd imagined it. Her 2-year-old son, Liam, was giggling on the grass while their massive 160-pound English Mastiff, Brutus, pressed his forehead against the boy's cheek. Not playfully, but with a solemn intensity that made her skin prickle. "Brutus, no," she'd called softly, pulling Liam back. The dog didn't react. He just stared at the child like he was guarding something sacred. That night, as Liam slept, Sarah heard a low growl from the nursery. She rushed in, heart pounding, only to find Brutus curled around the crib, eyes fixed on the wall behind it, not at Liam. Her hands trembled as she scooped up her son. Something wasn't right. Before watching, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another heart-gripping story like this one. Sarah and her husband David had moved to suburban Portland, Oregon, 6 months ago, seeking quiet after the chaos of city life. Brutus, a rescue from a rural shelter near Eugene, had been gentle since day one, a mountain of fur who preferred napping on the porch to chasing squirrels. Liam, born prematurely and still recovering from a mild respiratory condition, was fragile. Their pediatrician, Dr. Reynolds, had warned them about large dogs near infants. "Size alone can be dangerous," she'd said, her voice firm. "Even the sweetest dog can accidentally roll onto a baby." So they'd installed gates, kept Brutus leashed during playtime, and never let him near Liam unsupervised. Until last week. It started subtly. Brutus would lie beside Liam's high chair, chin resting on the toddler's foot, staring at the ceiling fan like it held secrets. Then came the nudging, gentle, insistent pushes with his nose toward Liam's back whenever the boy crawled near the stairs. Sarah scolded him each time. "You're being weird, Brutus," she'd say, brushing his head away. But the behavior escalated. One afternoon, as Liam sat playing with blocks, Brutus suddenly lunged, not at the child, but at the corner of the rug where Liam had been sitting moments before. He tore at it with frantic claws, snarling. Sarah yanked him away, tears in her eyes. "He's becoming aggressive," she whispered to David that night. "Maybe we need to find him a new home." What the camera captured would change everything they thought they knew. David refused to believe it. "He's not hurting him," he insisted, voice tight with frustration. "He's just protective." But Sarah's fear grew louder than his reassurance. Their neighbor, Mrs. Henderson, stopped by one evening and saw Brutus hovering over Liam as he napped on the couch. "That dog is too obsessed," she said, clutching her purse. "That's when accidents happen." Sarah's mother, visiting from Seattle, watched silently for 3 days before pulling her aside. "You're being reckless," she said bluntly. "We never allowed this. What if he hurts her? One wrong move and—" Sarah couldn't finish the sentence. Her chest felt heavy, her breath shallow. That night, she called the local animal shelter. "We need to surrender our Mastiff," she said, voice cracking. "He's become a danger to our child." But that wasn't even the worst part. The next morning, Sarah installed a Nest Cam in Liam's room, not for surveillance, but for proof. She needed to see if Brutus was truly becoming violent. The camera was small, white, with a blinking blue light that pulsed every 5 seconds. It sat on the dresser, angled perfectly to capture the crib and the wall behind it. Sarah checked the app constantly, refreshing the feed, waiting for the moment Brutus would snap. On night 1, at 9:47 p.m., Liam whimpered in his sleep. Brutus, lying on his bed beside the crib, lifted his head, his ears twitched. He didn't look at Liam. He looked at the wall, specifically at the baseboard near the electrical outlet. He stood slowly, walked over, and sniffed the spot. Then he returned to his bed, tail tucked, eyes wide. Sarah frowned. Nothing seemed wrong. On night 2, at 11:13 p.m., Liam stirred again. Brutus bolted upright. This time, he didn't just sniff. He pawed at the baseboard, then growled low in his throat. He turned and nudged Liam's blanket with his nose, pushing it away from the edge of the crib. Sarah's stomach twisted. Was he trying to suffocate him? She nearly ran in, but she held back. The timestamp glowed on her phone. 11:17 p.m. Brutus lay down again, but his body remained tense. Muscles coiled like springs. Night 3 arrived, the night before they were scheduled to drop Brutus off at the shelter. Sarah cried herself to sleep, guilt gnawing at her. At 2:03 a.m., the camera app pinged. She opened it, heart racing. Brutus was standing over Liam's crib, body rigid. Liam was crying softly, face flushed. Brutus didn't touch him. Instead, he barked. Once, sharp, piercing, then turned and charged the wall. He slammed his shoulder into the baseboard, wood splintering under his weight. Sarah screamed, bursting into the room. "Brutus, no!" she yelled, expecting to see blood, broken bones. But Liam was unharmed. Brutus stood between the crib and the wall, hackles raised, teeth bared, not at Liam, but at the wall. And then Sarah smelled it. Acrid, metallic, gas. She stumbled back, phone trembling. "Call 911, she gasped to David, who'd followed her in. "There's gas in here." What they saw on that footage would haunt them forever. Alone in the living room at 3:15 a.m., Sarah replayed the footage frame by frame. Night 1, 9:47 p.m., Brutus sniffing the baseboard. Night 2, 11:13 p.m., pawing, growling, nudging Liam away. Night 3, 2:03 a.m., charging the wall, barking, protecting. Each problem behavior was a warning. Every scolding she'd given him, "No, Brutus," had punished his instinct to save her child. She zoomed in on the wall behind the crib. In the dim glow of the camera's night vision, she saw it. A tiny crack in the baseboard, barely visible, leaking faint wisps of vapor. Her blood ran cold. She hadn't noticed. David hadn't noticed. The pediatrician hadn't noticed. But Brutus had. He'd sensed the gas long before humans could smell it. He'd been trying to warn them. She called 911 immediately. Within minutes, the Portland Fire Department arrived, along with a technician from the gas company. They brought detectors, meters, tools. The technician, a man named Rick Sanchez with 20 years' experience, scanned the wall with a handheld device. The needle spiked. "This is bad," he said, voice grave. "Natural gas leak. Concentration at 1.8%. If it hit 5%, it could have ignited from a spark, a light switch, a phone charger, anything." He pointed to the crack. "This line runs behind the wall. Corrosion. Probably been leaking for weeks. You're lucky your dog didn't let your kid sleep near it." He looked at Sarah, eyes softening. "That Mastiff saved you." Sarah realized they almost sent him away tomorrow. She pulled up the footage again, the moment Brutus charged the wall. "Something neither I nor David had ever seen," she whispered. "A dog choosing protection over obedience." She showed the video to Rick. He nodded slowly. "Dogs have olfactory receptors, 10,000 to 100,000 times more sensitive than ours. They can detect gas leaks before we can smell them. Your dog wasn't acting out. He was sounding the alarm. The most shocking revelation was still to come." Rick explained how Brutus's behavior matched documented cases of dogs detecting gas leaks, nudging children away from sources, growling at walls, even biting furniture to draw attention. "He's not just smart," Rick said. "He's a silent witness." David listened, head bowed. "I was wrong," he admitted, voice thick. "I should have trusted him." Mrs. Henderson showed up the next morning, holding a bag of treats and tears streaming down her face. "I was wrong," she sobbed, hugging Sarah. "I'm so sorry." Sarah's mother called from Seattle, voice shaking. "I misjudged him. I'm proud of you for listening to your gut and your dog." The HOA board sent an apology letter for questioning their pet policy. Local news stations called. A reporter from KGW asked for an interview. "That dog saved your family," she said. That's the real headline. In that moment, everything they thought they knew shattered. They repaired the gas line. The house smelled of fresh paint and safety. Sarah replayed the footage, the moment Brutus nudged Liam's blanket away, the growl that saved his life. She moved his bed from the hallway to the corner of Liam's room, right where he belonged. Liam, now smiling, reached for Brutus's ear during nap time. Sarah didn't pull him away. "It's okay, sweetheart," she whispered. "He's your guardian." Brutus licked Liam's hand, tail thumping softly. No grudge, no resentment, just loyalty. "We measure intelligence wrong," Sarah told David that night, watching Brutus curl around Liam's crib again. "We think it's about tricks or obedience, but real intelligence is knowing when to break the rules to protect what matters." They donated to the shelter that rescued Brutus. Sarah posted the footage online, not as a warning, but as a tribute. Thousands shared it. Comments poured in. "My dog did the same thing. Animals sense what we ignore. Trust your pets. They might be the only ones really paying attention." Months later, Liam took his first steps, with Brutus walking beside him, head lowered, tail wagging. The camera still recorded, not out of paranoia, but gratitude. They framed a photo from that first day. Liam laughing, Brutus pressing his forehead to the boy's cheek, blue ball forgotten on the grass. The caption read, "Protector, Guardian, Family." Every night, Brutus took his post beside the crib, not because he was told to, because he chose to. Because this is his family, and family protects family. If you found this incredible true story as moving as we did, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories of animal heroism and the unbreakable bonds between humans and their animal companions. Leave a comment below telling us about a time when a pet proved they were truly part of your family. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the most extraordinary heroes come in the most unexpected forms. Trust your pets. They might be the only ones really paying attention.